Hi there, my name is Jimmy, and right there I was demonstrating my frustration when it comes to remote controls that do not work the way they're supposed to. So if you want to fix your remote control, go ahead and follow along right now. Let's go. When it comes to troubleshooting electronics, check the power supply first. In this case, they are AAA batteries. Get your battery tester. If you don't have one of these, I'll leave everything in the description box below. You can go ahead and click on that link. It might cut your search time in half because I actually use these for the past few years, and this in particular is very useful. It measures and sees if your AAAs, AA's, button batteries, 9-volt batteries, C, Ds are all good. If they are still good, there's no need to replace batteries. Anyway, I will place this in the sensors, and for fun I will test it, and you can see that it's not bad depending on how you look at it. And you know, batteries and remote controls last a very long time. If you don't have one of these, you can get one from the links below, or you can put these in a different remote and see if it lights up when you press it. That means they're probably still in operation, okay? And if they're not, if they are still good, that means the problem lies within the remote control itself. I'm going to take off the cover. Oh, there's no batteries. No wonder it's not working. Just kidding. No, I've already taken these out. Now, as you can see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. We're going to take my electronic screwdriver here, and this thing works really well because it's magnetic, like that. And it holds the tiny screw at the end of the little nubbin here. This is a Phillips, a plus size head here, and it fits right inside. I don't recommend using any old screwdriver for this because you will ruin the screw. And notice here it stays right on the end there. You don't have to brace yourself and catch it. Place it in a safe little nook there where you can easily see it. A few revolutions of each screw and it comes right out. Do this for all the screws that you see. I see here I have 4 screws. I'm on my last one now. Okay, so you're seeing here that I removed the screws, and yet this remote does not seem to be falling apart. So how do we take this apart? We use our fingernail. Just kidding, don't do that, you'll hurt your finger. Use what we call an electronic spudging tool. This separates tightly fitted electronics plastic molded pieces. This thing works okay. I'll fit it in between here and kind of like create some space. It's a little flexible, so you kind of choke up on it. It's not sharp, though it looks like it is. You use your finger like that. Or you can use this thing here. You don't want to lift it open before it's ready. Be sure to dislodge it completely before ripping it back. You will break it. It's just plastic. Okay, so you don't want to be impatient here. Okay. This part comes off. Set that off to the side. Just before you remove this mat of buttons, this cursor comes off, and the action button, which is in the middle of the directional buttons, comes off as well. We'll put that back in later. This can now be removed. These are all the contacts for the buttons. You'll see that when you press the directional pad just with your fingertips, the TV will respond. So what I will do is what I did yesterday. I took some deoxit cleaner. Maybe you can use a little alcohol on a Q-tip and just kind of rub away any gunk that you see on this little board here. And when I looked at it, the power button, which was giving me the most trouble, was caked in like grease. It's not supposed to be there. that probably came from people spilling juice or using their hands while eating. I'm guilty of that. So it got gunked up in there and caused many issues. So when you push down on the power button here, it didn't work. It wasn't reading well because it was caked in junk. So I can take a little bit of deoxit here and spray it a little bit. It kind of rushes out like that. So that's why I didn't want to spray it on here and get this whole thing wet. It reminds me of something similar to WD-40. I'm just kind of wiping down the contacts of the buttons, getting all that grease off that I found in here. Okay, actually some dirt came off just now. Let it dry for a few seconds, and you can even rinse this mat maybe under some water. I'm not going to do that right now. And now it's time for the reassembly. Take this part here, the cover, after you wipe it all down, and we're going to put this in first, the directional pad. The directional pad has a little notch there, and I'll show you up close. I'm looking from the other side of it. The other side, there is a little plastic nub here. That nub fits right into that gap right there. I'll show you as I put it in. Right there. So there's only one way it fits in. And just like that, there is two notches there. And that is where the circle action button goes in. Do you see there's a little notch there as well? That fits in just like that. Now if I flip this over, it'll come out. So we'll have to install this upside down. Take your buttons or little mat here and place it into the cover. Now make sure the directional buttons stay there. It might get dislodged, so as you push it in, it doesn't have to be perfect right now. We will adjust this later. And as you can see, it's kind of resting like that. Something similar to that. And we're going to take now this cleaned up remote and put it upside down like this. Okay. Now, before you snap it all together, turn it around, apply a little bit of pressure, and you'll see here that the buttons aren't peeking out just yet. So as you push it down, kind of move the buttons around a little bit, make sure they peek out. And as they do that, okay, that one peeks out here. Look at that one, it's kind of dislodged, right? There we go. Okay, push it in, lock it down. Look at this one right there. It's a little funky there. There we go. Kind of just force it out of there. Make sure all the buttons are out. And now make sure the edges here are flat. Okay. The last step is to take your electronic screwdriver and one of the screws, place it on the tip here so it stays on thanks to the magnetic properties, and place it into the holes we got it from. Let's do that now. Don't over tighten it. And just do one at a time. Electronic screwdrivers are great because you place them right here in your palm and it spins against it with your fingertips. Regular screwdrivers don't really do that. Now after we screw them all in, to make sure that they're all seated properly, we're going to just double check them all being sure not to over tighten. Okay, here we go. Let's double check. 1, oh, see, this was loose. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, that wasn't too graceful, but there you go. Let's put the batteries back in. Put your cover back on, and you should be good to go. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. I hope it helps you with your remote controls. I'll see you next time.